Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom preview stream ahead of Matchday 5 for Euro Fantasy 2024. As always, I'm joined by my very good mate Jake. How we doing, mate? How we doing?
All good, thanks, mate. Looking forward to the quarterfinals. Been nice having a couple of days off, only one day of work, and then there we are, straight into the footy again.
Exactly. Some very tasty ties, especially on the other side of the draw. Obviously excluding the England games. Obviously tomorrow night you have got France Portugal and you've got Spain Germany. There's some pretty tasty ties on that side. You can't lie about that.
No, it is looking good. I think I feel like the English media doesn't do the English side much leaks news and stuff, but if the news that's leaked about us having a back three, maybe it's not the end of the world after all.
No, I definitely think a back three would suit this side a lot more as well because the way it's been working with this kind of 4-3-3 setup, it's just not been the one. So hopefully this five back can potentially be the saving grace and bring it home.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. But of course, there's a lot more mouth-watering ties than bloody England, Switzerland.
There is indeed.
Do you
There is
reckon?
indeed.
I was speaking about this though.
Go on.
Apparently, the guy that scored twice for Turkey, his the whatever sign language or whatever thing he did was actually quite offensive.
Yeah, I
So
saw
could
that.
he be in trouble?
Apparently, he didn't have his fingers in the right place for it to be offensive.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, his fingers crossed.
No, like I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do the sign because I kind of like this
But like it
channel.
was just slightly inaccurate,
But
so he's got away with it.
it was slightly inaccurate. His fingers weren't in quite the right place, so it didn't have the same effect.
Right. Okay. Oh, lucky boy. Lucky boy. He wasn't just doing a few jokes with his mates at Bellingham.
Not doing a Bellingham. Just a couple gestures with the lads. Just
It was just pure and simple, just a bit of fun with the lads.
yeah, bit of banter really. Just jokes. Don't worry about it. I can already see we've got some questions coming in. We will try to answer as many of them as we can. I can already see we've got some channel members and chat moderators in the chat as well. Good evening to you, A Turkey in a Bush, and Jamie as well. Like I said, we will get round to answering your guys' questions. If you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't know, we hit 5k the other day, so
Oh yeah.
that was pretty juicy. Apparently, we sound a little quiet. I'm just gonna audio myself up. Oh, it's just adjusted itself to 54. I'm probably now going to 94 and blasting through people's ears, but there we go. Yeah, there we go. So, whoop-de-doo, 5k, audio's working again. These streams never go smoothly. We all know that, so there's no point kind of trying to get around it, but we're back. We're back, baby. We're going to start off with Jake's team from Matchday 4. Jake, some interesting picks in here, mate, but talk us through what went well, what didn't go so well.
Well, there's only one thing that I can immediately jump to. I'm sure. Well, I've actually got away with it a little bit
Mm.
because no one sees the procedure of who I captain each match day. But every day I've made sure to change captain, and it actually worked wonders when I decided to captain Pepe. At one point, I think he was on for a potential man of the match until Diego Carlos managed to pull out that fantastic three penalty saves in the shootout, deserved the man of the match points. But I was happy with my 10 points, but clearly not happy enough with my 20 overall with the captain because I decided that I'd change that to Memphis Depay, purely going off the vibes that there's a chance he could get a couple of goals. What a mug I made myself to be. Um, and the other decision that I made that was very foolish was, of course, as you can see, I took Neuer out for pence once again. Made an absolute mockery of myself because I sacrificed a good 13 points there. Could have been competing with my best game week in game week 2. I think it would have been one off.
Mm.
And considering that I didn't have a wild card for it, I would have been quite happy with that. But overall, other than that, I think it's a pretty standard team. I think the only real surprise was the fact that Austria got knocked out, so Sabitzer didn't get me any points that were much to write home about anyway. I think he played a little bit deeper than I expected him to. And I think a lot of the chances ended up going through Baumgartner.
Yeah.
I think we chatted about it last week, saying that Austria won with 6-1 and bloody Gregorich, that's him, had scored a hat-trick. And I was like, maybe I'll play him. He won't. He won't start. He won't start. And lo and behold, he comes off the bench and still manages to score. So he's got Turkey's card marked, but Turkey really did play very well. That save at the end is one of the best saves I've ever seen in those circumstances. Right at the end,
Yeah.
Gordon Banks-esque, as has been said many a time. So yeah, I'm buzzing for Turkey. Fair play to them, but that's just kind of made my transfers coming up to this quarterfinal round a little bit more tricky, because I thought if Austria won, I was at least set with at least 2 transfers, because of course I went gung ho with the Georgian lads. There were a few little hearts in mouth moments for me, a bit hopeful, I must say. I do admit that Georgia was never a hopeful one, to be honest. It was never going to happen. It was just more of a hopeful one. But yeah, it was. I was happy with how it went on a whole. Just a shame Scalia couldn't score from his own half.
Yeah, that would have.
The only saving grace I've got from that game is I did say that they'd score first and concede 5. They conceded 4. I got the goal right, just not the goal scorer. But yeah, overall, I've got a decent setup going into the next game week. It's just kind of, well, I guess I've shot myself in the foot by having the 2 Georgians, because maybe I would have been able to easily alter my team with the Austrian knockout otherwise.
Yeah, interesting. Let's just move straight on into your team for this week. This is currently how it's looking. Obviously, all your players kind of rammed in, but you don't really have any bench players at the moment. Is there any players that you think have maybe caught your eye for this week that you're looking to target? Obviously, quite a few of the Georgian lads are quite cheap. So, have you got enough budget left over?
I think I've got 1.5, maybe even 2 mil if I'm lucky enough. So I do think I've got a little bit to play around with.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main one that's really caught my eye is Gakpo. With them playing Turkey, I do feel like he's a very, very important asset to consider. I don't think Memphis Depay is really going to do much else, to be honest. I think he was one of those that was trying to be a little bit different to everyone, and I've just fallen further by the wayside. So that one's also not really worked in my favour. But other than that, nothing really too much that has caught my eye. I guess you could look at the likes of Vargas, but I also feel like England's defence is still something that I'm reluctant to gamble too much against, even though we did concede against Slovakia. Maybe I'd be intrigued. I might be tempted to bring Trent back in, but I think that's a conversation to have in a minute, as I'm just getting stared out by a mosquito. But yeah, it's interesting, really, because I don't really feel like there's too much I need to improve on in my team. Fortunately, I think all the players that I've got are pretty set to play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the Gay dilemma, which is a big bonus, I would say. But I think the main thing is get the 2 Georgians out, get Sabitzer out. We've spoken briefly off air. You think I'm going to be all right without having a substitute goalkeeper rather than taking a minus?
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. I've always said it. I said it in regular FPL as well. Goalkeepers, for me, they're not worth wasting transfers on. Like, most goalkeepers, realistically, just at a best, will get a clean sheet and maybe 1 or 2 save points. I feel 6 to 8 points, especially in your position, you might be taking a -4 for it as well. 2 to 3 points for that minus, it's just not really worth it, is it?
No, I do get that. It's just one of those, really, where it's Neuer against Spain. I really can't see them keeping a clean sheet, but maybe it will be one of those cagey goalless draws. You never know.
Well, he might pick up plenty of saves.
True. It'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. And yeah, I'm intrigued, to be honest. I don't think there's anyone that stands out in any of the games. I feel like even in the Netherlands-Turkey game, Turkey have shown that they are capable of playing the teams even when they are the underdog. Netherlands have looked good, but of course they did have arguably the easiest tie of the round, and they did kind of sneak their way through in the end through the groups. That being said, they didn't look all that terrible in the group stages. Probably gave France a few scares. We're unfortunate not to get a goal there in that game, so could have got a win there. So maybe Netherlands is one that I want to get an extra player for, but other than that, I'm not entirely sure where to focus.
Okay. I think obviously with you having no wild card left, I think the Netherlands is definitely a strong bet. Like as we'll come on to see with the data, they are predicted to obviously progress to the next round, predicted to score the most goals, highest probability of a clean sheet this week as well. So definitely a team I would be looking to invest on. I think only one England player. I probably would be looking at a second maybe. That's another area I think
Like I
you
said,
could
yeah,
go for.
possibly a Trent, but then at the same time, I feel like my defense is pretty set up already, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably the midfielders you're probably looking a little bit more at. Maybe like the likes of Xavi Simmons. Maybe if you can afford it, Bellingham, or maybe take a gamble on Foden playing a more narrow position if kind of this predicted formation that's being leaked online is true.
What about Ivan Toney?
I don't think he'll play.
You not
He's
reckon? Do you think he'll
no,
still just be Kane?
that predicted formation has it so Bellingham and Foden are sat as like two cams to be honest.
Right. Okay.
So maybe Foden could be the one to potentially take a little bit of a gamble on.
Yeah, that's a good shout. No, I like that. Just having a look and see if I can think of anything off the top of my head. Am I sleeping on Turkey a little bit?
No, no. I think with you not having a wild card left, it's probably not worth kind of backing a team that's probably likely to go out.
But when you think about it, I've got three players. Say I were to go Simmons for Kvaratskhelia,
Hmm.
if I could afford Foden for Sabitzer, then there's just that striker slot away like available to like a I don't know like a Burak, is it a Burak up top?
I think it's Barak, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
Yilmaz,
I
the
haven't really
blonde
paid
haired boy.
attention. I haven't really paid attention to Turkey at all this
Yeah,
tournament.
but then also at the same time I could I could go a little bit stronger with. I'm not sure who do you fancy in the Portugal France game?
I think I slightly favour France.
Yeah, two sides that managed to get through despite being rather underwhelming on the whole.
Mm.
I think because we're of course following all the English media and we are England fans, we're going to follow all that. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's similar, maybe not quite as harsh, but similar kind of criticisms of their performances in their countries.
Yeah, I think obviously Deschamps isn't really that popular in France anyway, despite him winning the World Cup and obviously getting France to quite a lot of finals and stuff like that. But yeah, he's not really a popular figure, so I imagine they were probably on the back of him. Portugal, on the other hand, going all the way to penalties, I feel their media probably was quite harsh on their team, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Don't know whether I want to bring the crybaby in.
No, I think he's probably a player I wouldn't be looking at. I've got him in my team, and as we'll come on to see, I'm thinking about selling him.
Fair enough, but yeah, I think that gives me good food for thought. I don't think I'll take that minus uh, on second look of it,
Mm.
especially when we think that say Spain win, I could be then having a yet another goalkeeper crisis where I might have to tempt another minus had I committed to a minus here, especially if both keepers that I pick get knocked out.
Yeah.
So it might be worth me just holding off there and just seeing what it looks like after the quarters.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best course of action, to be honest. Interestingly, obviously, the game's now just split over two kind of game days, if you like. So you're only going to get two shots at captaincy. Which two players are you obviously thinking about for each day?
So who play on the second day? It's England are on the second day.
England
Who else?
and Netherlands are on the second day.
Um, well, I mean, I have got that striker slot open, so I could opt for another midfielder, say, um, from a Saturday game, and then I could put Gakpo up top.
Yeah.
And in that case, I think I would probably want to captain him on the second day. I don't know if I'm 100% keen on captaining any of the England lot, just because I don't know who's going to shine there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then on tomorrow's games, I probably will go safe and go with Mbappe.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people will just have Mbappe captain tomorrow, kind of not think about it and just have him captain. But I mentioned this in my team selection video. I think he could be a really good shout because they'll have João Cancelo playing at right back, and obviously it'll be Theo Hernandez and Mbappe running at João Cancelo. That to me just seems like a little bit of a cheat code.
How about Nico Williams?
Yeah, I think he's a good shout, but obviously it's that Germany game. I think obviously with them being the host nation, I don't think you can really back against the host nation.
Yeah, I saw that Spain have never beaten a host nation as well in the Euros.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter today. So yeah, it's not boding well for the Spanish boys, is it really?
No, it's not. But that being said, I do feel like they will have too much for Germany. I think it's Spain's to lose.
Yeah, agreed. Right, let's start answering some of your guys' questions in the chat. I've seen quite a few people have sent me through their teams. We're not going to do team reviews. That'll be on tomorrow's deadline stream. That'll be live from 4 o'clock tomorrow. So if you do want your team rating, come along to that one. But at the moment, we're just going to kind of do more quick fire based questions rather than looking through people's whole teams, to be honest.
Sorry about this. Don't know if on the camera you can just see me just fidgeting about, but
I can,
I've been
mate.
booted into my girlfriend's mum's room, so I'm just sat on the floor. I'm just like, oh, I can't get bloody comfortable.
Again, that was a team rating one. Netherlands assets are crucial. I'm guessing you mean crucial, surely. I definitely think with them having a high chance of progression, you should be looking at 2 to 3 Netherlands assets at a minimum, especially if you've not got a wild card left or you're not planning on using a wild card this week. Sell Gahey or Cancelo. I think with Gahey being suspended, that one makes sense. Sell Gahey first.
Sorry to interrupt the questions, which are very good questions, by the way, not to slander them at all.
Go
on. But it has actually made me think. If I'm going to say bring in a Gakpo or a Simmons or something like that, I'd then have Van Dijk, Simmons, Depay. Van Dijk, Gakpo, Depay. So 3 Dutch players.
Yeah.
They should get through. That should help me. You then get 4 transfers, don't you, in the semi-finals?
Yeah, 4 going into the semis.
And I'll have potential of 3 English and 3 Dutch. Would I not be better having only 2 Dutch and 4 English, or vice versa, would you say? Like, should I be backing England, or am I looking too far ahead when we've got Switzerland to play?
I mean, yeah, we've still got to get past Switzerland first, haven't we? Like, you do have to kind of forward think, especially with some of your transfer plans, but at the same time, yeah, I still think, like, these fixtures, like, calling those semi-final games is going to be ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
I imagine both of them are going to probably be quite tight games. There's probably not going to be too much goal action, whereas at least with this one, you feel England, if they turn up, could very easily go and get a couple past Switzerland if they decide that this new formation works. Or you could get, Netherlands putting in another dominant display like they did against Romania.
Yeah, okay. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
You probably are right there, especially when I'm saying that like we're going to get to the semi-finals, but who fucking knows?
You remember it's England, lad. Come on.
Yeah, of course. We've had too many teams have played since. We need to remember that.
Next question. Top 3 teams to get players in from. Obviously, like we've spoke about, it's probably looking at this England side of the draw with them having, on paper, easier fixtures this week. So England players, so Netherlands players. And then trying to call the other ones is ridiculously hard. Like, I don't think I'd be overly keen on anyone, to be honest, on the other side in terms of transfers that I would be looking to definitely make. Because
I do think if you don't have Nico Williams, he's definitely worth having.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a good asset.
Yeah, and I think the same with Musiala. So I think if you're looking at, of course, like you say, England and Holland are the 2 main ones where you'd back them. Maybe slightly more so with Holland's draw. But then on the other side of it, I think having Musiala is very important. I think having Nico Williams is very important. And then from Portugal and from France, you have to have Mbappe. And from Portugal, I do think it's worth having an asset, if not 2. I mean, like Ronaldo, I'm sure a lot of people have him. And I mean, personally, I think it depends on how crucial you need to get rid of other players. If you need to prioritise other players, then Ronaldo's not someone that you have to worry about sacrificing. But if you feel like your team's looking all right, bar Ronaldo, then fair enough. But there is no doubt Ronaldo will have chances because he will ensure that he takes absolutely every opportunity of getting centre stage again. Yeah,
he will. He will indeed. I think that's the thing, isn't it? To be honest, like, although he's looked crap, he just will continue. I think that goes the same with Depay, as well in your team. Watching the game, he was on all the free kicks, all the corners, but just wasn't in the right place. Whereas Gakpo just seemed to just have his moments.
Yeah. definitely.
Uh,
Marlon might not even be a bad shout, because I reckon he'll start this time.
yeah, I think he might start the game, to be fair. But again, would he probably only see 50, 60 minutes if things aren't going the way?
True, that is true.
Who's worse, Martinez or Southgate?
Probably Martinez,
Yeah,
I really do feel like he's flopped at some big clubs. Like he had the golden generation at Belgium, and he did nothing with them.
Yeah.
And with Portugal, he's got one hell of a team. On paper, I do feel like Portugal's squad does compete with ours, and yet again, he is massively lucky to get through. And despite all of the criticism that goes Southgate's way, he's got what more? He's got more knockout stage wins than any other manager. Is it put together even something crazy?
No, I think
He has,
I think it's since 1970 or something.
yeah, and the statistics do show that Southgate is one hell of a manager.
Yeah.
Just maybe doesn't perform. Like it's like watching West Ham. Maybe you get the results, but maybe not in the nicest way possible.
Yeah,
So
I get that. I get that.
yeah, England have not played the best of football, maybe that you'd expect them to with the quality that they have, but Southgate has managed to scrape together victory after victory. So yeah, I feel like it's got to be Martinez that's underperformed more.
Agreed. Agreed. Next question. Rio has asked, "Hi Tom, is it worth a -4 to replace Morata with Gakpo?"
I'm gonna let you take that one, Tom,
Of course you will. Of course you will. I think, like a lot of
because
people.
I would say yes. Of course, I'd say yes.
Yeah, like Morata has just been disappointing, but at the same time, he will start the game. And like, I don't know if it's worth a like. If you look at Cody Gakpo's stats, like expected goals and stuff, it's pretty pants, to be honest.
I also feel like the 8 teams left, the strongest three up front you can have is probably Mbappe, Gakpo, and then I'd probably argue Ronaldo at the moment.
I'd
And
argue Kane.
well, yeah, even so. So in both of those situations, Gakpo is that front three man.
Yeah.
And so if you've got Morata and you've got Mbappe and then you've got Kane or Ronaldo, I would argue that maybe having Kane or Ronaldo is more one to consider, especially Ronaldo. If you've got Ronaldo, I think Gakpo's worth the swap.
Yeah.
Kane, I don't know. He popped up with a goal, didn't he? So I can't be too critical on him. But it just depends on what England team turns up, how miserable we'll be. But Spain, like you say, Morata will start, and Spain will press and have been very entertaining up top. That being said, Morata was one hell of a saboteur against Georgia.
It was indeed, and you know what? He might not actually start. Like he didn't look great, did he? So maybe they'll switch it around a little bit. But
he's the captain, though. I feel like he has to start.
Yeah, You know what? I feel look, it's quite a short format game. Have a little bit of fun with it. Gakpo's in form. Have a little bit of fun and just go for the -4.
Is Gakpo top scorer now then?
Joint, yeah. I think he's got 3. So him and Musiala on 3, and the
Mikitauta.
Yeah, that guy. Thanks for getting his name. I completely forgot.
I mean, to be fair, I've just put letters together. I hope I've pronounced it right.
Probably, mate. Probably.
How many's Valovojevic got?
We're not talking about him. Should I prioritise double Dutch defence or double Dutch attack?
I'd say attack.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I'd say attack. Yeah. If that's because you've got one in attack and one in defence already, then I'd probably go for a midfielder. Maybe a Simmons isn't a bad shout, but I think there are quite a few decent defenders that you can have in your team where you don't have to actually worry about double Dutch, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the midfield is really where you can kind of accept another Dutch player comes in, like I've said, like a Simmons. Can't really think of someone off the top of my head other than him that really competes with him, to be honest.
That's about it for midfield options, to be honest, from Holland. Like the rest are just kind of.
Midfield's a little bit stinky on this game in comparison, to be fair, especially in comparison to the fantasy one. You kind of want those strikers or the defenders, and the midfielders. A lot of the time, you're hoping they get a ball recovery or two.
True. That is the case. Next question: Bellingham or Simmons?
Probably go Bellingham.
Yeah, I think I'd go Bellingham as well on that one.
I think that is when you do think that Bellingham has seen out the whole 90, even when we were playing pretty dismally, and he turned up when we needed him. So he will no doubt play at the majority of the game once again. And then if you do see both sides getting through, I think you've got to back whoever you think is going to get to the final, Netherlands and England. And I think if both get to the semis, I think England should beat Holland.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like the Switzerland game might be more difficult.
I feel Bellingham's like the big game player, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like he proved that with England in the last round. Obviously, he's been there, done it with Real Madrid in the Champions League this season as well. Simmons, I feel at times in the Romania game, he was quite frustrating to watch. Didn't always make the right decision.
Twice, there's a chance he gets benched.
True. That is always the case as well. Let's fire through some of these pretty rapid. Stones or Kyle Walker?
I've gone Stones, so I'm going to say Stones.
Okay, I think Kyle Walker has maybe like 2 better ball recoveries. So there's my argument.
Fair enough.
Koundé or Virgil van Dijk?
Van Dijk.
Van Dijk agreed. We'll answer some more of those in a bit. There we go. We'll answer some more of those in a bit. Let's move on to my team for last week, Matchday 4. And you know what? Things are going good for once. I'm not sat in one of these streams going, oh, well, I've got 12 points and I'm 200,000 in the world. No, we're actually flying this year.
Was that aimed? I feel like that was a little bit aimed.
No, that was just me, like all the preview streams that last season in fantasy. It was like, oh, I've had a bloody another bad week and I've got 4 points. No, I'm cooking. We're cooking. We're currently at 24,440 something, 44 maybe or 40. So yeah, 24k. Things are going well. We're just making all the right decisions at the moment. Everything's just kind of working out. It's all coming up Millhouse. Costa with the penalty saves that won him man of the match. Yes. Williams with his goal and assist, and we captained him. Result. Theo Hernandez and Ake clean sheets. Great. Mark Gahey getting an assist. Just unbelievable. And then obviously the big man up top, Cody Gakpo as well. So very, very happy with kind of how my team is functioning at the moment. And as you can see, if I move over to this screen and then put Jake back on screen, there we go. The team's looking okay for this week. Obviously, we've only got 2 players that won't feature this week. Only one has been knocked out. Mark Gahey has been suspended, so we're going to have to deal with him. And the transfers that I'm thinking is we're going to bring in Virgil van Dijk for Mark Gahey. We're going to bring Simmons in for Sabitzer. And we're going to bring in Kane for Ronaldo. So that's my transfers. What do you think about those, lads?
I like that. The only thing I would say is Gahey sitting on your bench saving you a transfer next week?
Potentially, but at the same time, it gives me like a chance to attack a little bit more this week. And it gives me just an extra player. Like I don't know what else I would do with that spare transfer, so I feel like I might as well just attack the week.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, you like
that? Well, other than that, I'm happy with it. I like that. Yeah, I think Kane for Ronaldo. It's hit or miss, really, isn't it? Ronaldo has 10 times more of an impact in the game because he makes sure he is on every direct free kick, and every ball has to be passed to him. Whereas Kane will just let the ball come to him in his own half, so he doesn't really get those opportunities. But as this tournament has suggested so far, he's just been there at the right place in the right time twice, and Ronaldo's missed the penalty. So the statistics don't lie. So I guess you've got to go with Harry Kane there.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, especially if there's this change in England formation, it might make him better. But I feel like when the chances have fell to Kane as well, he's taken them, and Ronaldo hasn't.
Definitely. Yep, that's the way you've got to judge it on with a striker, especially at that cost.
Yeah. Someone just said to me, you said Jude over Simmons. I did, but I'm also getting Kane in, so that kind of, I'd rather have Kane than Bellingham. So
yeah,
fair enough. That kind of counteracts that in my eyes. And yeah, I don't think I can afford Bellingham actually. So that's why I went for Simmons.
Well, you would be able to if you went for a much cheaper striker than Kane from Ronaldo, if you get me.
But I don't think I want to
you
do
go
that.
Bellingham and then exactly. You go Bellingham and then maybe go for Yamal or someone.
Yeah. But I've already got Williams. I feel like I don't really need another Spanish attacker in quite a close game against Germany.
Or you could go Borak.
I'm not touching Borak, mate.
You could go Embolo.
No, we're not going for it.
Okay. Well, two clear options, aren't there? I think Kane's the sensible shout there.
Yeah, agreed.
What captains are you thinking of?
Tomorrow it's quite open, isn't it? Really, I think Mbappe, probably with the rank that I am. Sorry, I think probably the safe pick is Mbappe. The exciting picks would probably be somebody like Williams or Musiala. But that's more the gambles.
A good game, that isn't it?
Yeah, and then if it goes to the Saturday, we've obviously got Kane, we've got Gakpo to pick from as well. There's again few interesting options kicking around, so difficult one to call really.
Yeah, but it's exciting times in the FPL Tom team.
It is for once. We're not dawdling down the back. We're up the front. In the
have you still got both your keepers? I can't see you.
Yeah. I've got Costa and Pickford, so I've got a goalkeeper for both days as well. I've not put
very nice. That's worked out nicely, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's worked out really nicely. So so happy days. Both playing on different days as well, so we can use both of them. I'm not just a pretty face, Jake. I'm a good FPL manager. I hope I say this.
If Costa gets a clean sheet and just 6 points, do you keep him?
Yeah, I'm not risking that.
What if he gets?
I wouldn't risk it if he got a 4. I'd leave him at 4.
Really?
It's 2. Realistically, Pickford's going to get maybe 2 points extra.
What about 3?
Nah, 3 I'll change. 3 I will change. 4 I won't.
What about 3.5?
No, 3.5. That's way too many. Way too many, mate.
Sound. I'm good to see where you stand. I think 6 points is where I'll stick with Neuer. Otherwise, Pence is back in.
Yeah. Just get him in for the 0. He'll do great stuff. He'll do great stuff. Let's move on away from my team. Obviously, if you want to go and kind of look at the data, kind of all that exciting stuff from my team, there is my team selection video out on the channel as well. So you can go and check that out. We do have a new channel member, interestingly, FPL Caleb, I believe that is. Welcome to the FPL Tom fan pack, or its unofficial name, the Soggy Biscuit Club. Plenty of members in there, so thank you very much for becoming one of those. We'll get you in one of the old biscuit circle jerks very soon. If other channel members could make him feel very, very welcome in the chat, put some biscuits, put some wet emojis, spam them out. Lovely stuff. There we go, a turkey in a bush already at it. You'll love to see it. Let's move on to some data. Obviously, me and Jake have been using this. Well, probably me a little bit more than Jake, but I feel it's influenced some of your decisions across this Euros. So, we'll take this into the new FPL season as well. Again, this is coming from Rob T FPL, an absolute legend in the community. So go and check out some of his amazing work. Again, link to that in the description. Obviously, Jake, I don't think you can see it on screen, so I'll just read out everything for you, mate. First game, obviously, is Spain versus Germany. Predicted goals, 1.33 for both teams, and predicted clean sheets, both with a 27% chance. So the data really can't split which team is going to win this game between Spain and Germany.
I think that does show the edge, though, given to Spain, considering that Germany have the host nation advantage, and when they can't be split, even though they're the host nation, I think that does show that Spain are ever so slight favourites.
I guess though that could maybe work in the other way of saying, well, the data obviously won't take these outside factors into consideration, and maybe it is going to be something like, there being more German fans or the
Oh, so you mean like that's just statistics based on, say, they're a neutral ground?
Well, this is just the betting data. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, no, you could be right there. Then in that case, maybe they do fancy. Maybe they fully can't split it, and the fans will actually have an impact. But we shall see. We shall see. I think it does just show just how tightly that game is predicted to be. But it could be one of those classics where someone just bursts out the blocks and twats the other one. You never know. It's not one where I'm going to call it anyway. I
yeah,
don't think there's really a fixture in these quarters where like I can actually go for those rogue things of saying the statistics actually may not be so accurate. Like I said with Georgia being so unlikely to score, and yet I was like, no, I do think the way that things are going, the statistics could be faulted there, and I was right. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the goal was proper fluky, but even so, it was just the fact that Georgia had that about them. Now we don't quite have that. We kind of have to stick to the statistics, I think. I don't think I can really go away from it, venture away from those statistics too much here and call a result because I don't really know otherwise.
yeah. I think if I remember rightly, it was like a 0.05% chance of Georgia scoring. And obviously, the goal that they did score was kind of that kind of goal where, from a percentage and kind of data standpoint, it would be a very kind of niche, fluky goal. So, it did
They
work.
still had a good few opportunities on the
Yeah,
break,
yeah, yeah.
though, to be fair to them,
Yeah, they did.
which just showed the danger they had. And that's one of the things that, like, for example, like with England, we'll sit back a lot, but then we don't have those two fast players that Georgia always seem to have as an outlet. So on the break, we don't have that blistering pace. So hopefully that can change against Switzerland. But yeah, it'll be interesting, that Spain Germany game. It really will.
Yeah, agreed. Moving on to France Portugal. The data actually is favouring France for this one as well. 1.28 predicted goals for them, 1.03 for Portugal, a 28% chance of a clean sheet for Portugal, but a 36% chance for a clean sheet from Spain. Do you agree with that data?
I do, because I do think France have been another one that have just about managed to scramble themselves over the line, and yet they haven't really been tested too much defensively either. So yeah, I can understand why that's the case. Whereas with Portugal, they've got themselves through the group probably more efficiently than most. Allowed themselves to lose that game on the third game week, which probably doesn't help the statistics thought process on how well they're going to keep a clean sheet. But then, of course, even against Slovenia, they seemed to be fairly comfortable for the majority, albeit they did have a few heart in mouth moments, but kept a clean sheet there. So yeah, I feel like as much as it might just ever so slightly favour France, once again, I think it's showing just how hard it is for them to actually predict an out winner.
Yeah, agreed. Obviously, looking at those two games there, a lot of people are asking us who would you captain on the first day. With maybe predicted more goals between Germany and Spain, do you maybe look at going against Mbappe with that data?
I understand why you would, but I think it really is a complete 50-50 there. You've got probably, if you're going to go for one of them, you're going to go for Williams or Musiala.
Yeah.
And you've just got to hope that that side does better than the other, because I doubt it's going to be a high-scoring 2-all draw. Watch me curse that now, and that'd be great if it is. But I feel like it's one of those games where whoever scores is probably going to win the game, rather than it being backwards, forwards, like end to end to end to end, goals galore. If you captain Musiala, it's fine, because even though Williams has scored, Musiala has two. I think it is going to be really finely picked, that game, and only one person's going to come out the winner on points as well as in the fixture. Yeah. Whereas with the stats suggesting ever so slightly France, a better clean sheet chance, not so much for Portugal. Like you mentioned earlier, it's going to be Hernandez and Mbappe against the high pressing fullbacks of Mendes and Cancelo. I do really feel like that just seems like a much more straightforward decision to make.
Okay, okay, nice. I think you really, really rounded that off quite nicely. Very nicely.
Thanks, mate.
Wonderful stuff. Let's move on to the Saturday game, starting off with England. 1.28 predicted goals for them and a 38% chance of a clean sheet. Switzerland, on the other hand, 0.98 and 28% chance. England with the joint highest predicted clean sheets for Matchday 5. Do you feel that's maybe gives you some confidence to potentially go for double England defence?
Yeah, possibly. I think it just depends on everyone's team and what they've got going into this. Because, of course, for myself, I've got other areas that I need to prioritise. However, if I was going to -4, I probably would take out Pence for Pickford. I think that would be where I'd make my transfer for my goalkeeper. It also works out quite nicely in that case as well, because then I've got two goalkeepers for either side of the draw.
Yeah.
If anything, Tom, your statistics are suggesting that I do take a -4 here.
Whoa, 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 whoa! They ain't saying anything. They ain't saying anything. I think. I just, yeah. I think the reason I say don't take a -4 with goalkeepers is because of the limited kind of points that you're gonna get from them. I feel like defenders, especially in this game with ball recoveries, midfielders and forwards, all they have to do is go and get one goal, maybe like pick up some playing points and stuff, and it makes that minus worth it. Goalkeepers, unless they have like an unreal game where they're either saving every single shot or, you know, the penalty heroics, they're not going to make that back.
Yeah, agreed. And I do get that. But I feel like another issue is the fact that you have to be aware that Germany are much less likely to keep a clean sheet than England are.
Yeah.
So there is a high chance that Neuer finishes this game with 2 points, whereas I take that -4. But then I guess you take the -4, you put Pickford in, he's got 6 points. There's your 4 points taken back. So it's like, well, what's even the point in the first place?
Yeah. Moving on to the final game of the weekend, it will be Netherlands versus Turkey. And interestingly, they have the highest percentage chance of a clean sheet, joint with England at 38. Then they also have 1.95 predicted goals for this match day, the highest of any team on this list. So I think it is, favouring people to kind of obviously look at the likes of Gakpo, Simmons and Depay as well. I've seen him kind of top on quite a few predicted points models as well, Memphis Depay. So definitely worth.
Oh, is that so?
It is so, mate. It is so.
The captaincy may be swinging.
I think obviously, like the first day, you go sensible with Mbappe, because if he does anything,
And then if that doesn't pay off, yeah.
then you go into the next day and go, you know what? Let's have a little bit of Depay. Let's have a Gakpo.
You do know, Tom. If Mbappe scores twice, there's still chance I'll change the captain.
Oh no. I think
it's just what if it would be so typical. Mbappe scores twice, I don't do anything, and Depay or Gakpo get a hat trick.
Yeah, it would be that way. Also, Turkey have the lowest percent chance of a clean sheet. All the other ones are quite close. Like even in the England-Switzerland game, they're predicted a 28% chance of a clean sheet. This one has Turkey only getting a 14% chance. So, I think it does suggest, looking at this data, and if you're going to use that to kind of make your transfers, kind of that, you should be backing this Netherlands team from a defensive standpoint and from an attacking standpoint as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Wonderful stuff. Right, get your questions in, and me and Jake will answer these for around 10 or so minutes, and then we'll let you go. But there will be a deadline stream tomorrow, starting at 4:00. Obviously, the deadline is at 5, so it's only going to be an hour. But we'll be doing team ratings, answering your guys' questions as always. So if you are new around here, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, so you will be notified when that stream does go live. FPL,
what's the early game?
It's the... Actually. I think...
You'd like to think the Spain game's the late one, wouldn't you? I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think it might be, No, it's the early one. Spain, Germany.
Spain early. Oof,
yeah.
Straight into the heat of it.
I know, yeah. But it's just a great day for games tomorrow, isn't it?
It really is, and then it goes a bit dead. It's like the BTEC games afterwards.
Yeah, it's like, oh dear. But at least England are on that side.
True, exactly.
FPL Caleb, one of our new channel members, he said, I feel like Jude is a very important asset to have this match day. Would you agree with that?
Possibly, yeah. I think, yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. I don't think he's a very, very important person to have, but I think he is a good asset to have in your side. I think if you're tempted to bring him in, I understand it, and I would bring him in if you could afford it. And it's not going to hinder any other players that have been knocked out, not getting out of your side. But yeah, I feel like he's a great player to have in your team. Whether he's the most crucial player to have, especially for England, I'm not so sure. I think, like you alluded to earlier, I think Kane's ever so slightly more important to have in your team if you're going to pick between the two. I also think England's defensive prowess is a lot more. Well, it's a lot easier to write about and to talk about and to actually back. Whereas whether Bellingham specifically does something, who knows? He might have a great game. He might be quite quiet. I can't tell you for sure because, of course, he's done something absolutely mad, done really well, and I think you say he's really, really crucial to have in your team. Whereas Foden's been extremely quiet in front of goal, but he's looked all right, and arguably, I think Foden's actually had more impact in games. Bellingham's just got the final chance and taken it, which you can't really say anything against. But maybe had Foden scored that one last-minute goal, would you be saying saying the same thing the other way around just because of one moment of magic? I don't know. I still think there's a toss-up, and I think, like you've said as well, there's still something to be said for Foden. So I think it's not quite as straightforward when you talk about Bellingham, but if you're thinking of bringing him in, I don't see why not.
Yeah, agreed. Joseph has said, do you think the mask is hindering Mbappe?
No, I think France has just been a little bit sluggish in front of goal full stop, to be honest. I don't think it's got much to do with the mask.
Yeah, well, they've got the highest XG at the tournament, so I think it's more just
the finishing, the chances, isn't it?
It's just luck. And I do feel like they are going to batter somebody at this tournament if they keep putting up the numbers they are, because it's just not possible to keep doing what they're doing and not a couple goals going in one game. Maybe this Portugal one, this could be it. This could be the end of Cristiano Ronaldo's international career. I would absolutely love it.
At the hands of Mbappe.
If Mbappe puts like 4 or 5 past Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm all for it. I'm all here. Everyone is.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I think I might stick with the captain if he does that.
Yeah, exactly.
Might.
Because most engaged managers are thinking of going against Mbappe for captain, is captaining Mbappe becoming a differential in itself? I'm going to take this one and say there aren't that many engaged managers as you think. Just because everyone on Twitter and kind of on YouTube talk about it and you're kind of in this community, it's not the kind of wider consensus. If you start to chat to just regular people that play the game, they're not thinking like that. They're not kind of thinking, oh well, I'm going to captain Mbappe or I'm not going to captain Mbappe. It's the small minority of kind of YouTubers and content creators, which probably only make up 1 to 2% of the game, that are thinking this way. So I still think, the consensus is Mbappe will be the best captain for that first game, and a lot of people, he will be the most captain player. Very simple, very easy.
Agreed. Fully agree.
Cool. What other questions have we got? Caleb says he's very grateful to be part of the Soggy Biscuit Club. Absolutely love that.
So he should be.
Yeah.
Get yourself soggy, Caleb.
Yeah. Hey Tom, what's going on with Mittelstadt? Should I be transferring him out? Well, I think obviously with that Germany game being first tomorrow, we're going to get to see that lineup. And if he's not in it, then you can make your decision on that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Good news, that, to be fair, because I might bring in a Musiala, to be honest.
Oh, hello. Naughty boy, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Would you give him the armband over Mbappe?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I'll go safety first on this one, because I think, like we've said, you go safe on the Friday and then Saturday. If the Friday didn't work out, there's a lot more chance of differential shouts on the Saturday. Whereas I feel like if I go for anyone that's not Mbappe and he slaps, I've got a lot to answer to.
Agreed. My differential this week is De Vrij looking really good on set pieces and good for ball recoveries. He is outperforming Van Dijk on ball recoveries, but I think it's only by 2. So yeah, he's a decent option. Obviously, with the Dutch having high percent.
Van Dijk hit the woodwork though, didn't he?
He did hit the woodwork, but I think both De Vrij, Ake, and Van Dijk are all very solid shouts, to be honest.
Or both the three of them.
Yeah. About that.
Moving on.
Moving quickly on. Attacky Devotion said, "Is a quad Spain acceptable?" No. Not in my eyes. What?
Why?
Just because, you can't predict that game.
They're going to get to the final.
No, you can't predict that game. I think 3 at max, but other than that, it's too unpredictable.
Okay. I think you're going to end up with the quad Spain though, most likely. But yeah, it probably is a little bit soon,
Yeah, agreed.
Because you never know. Like you say, you never know. Germany could really embarrass you there, and then you've got your work cut out from the semis.
True indeed. Do keep the questions coming in, guys. We will try to answer as many as we can. Jake, I'm going to ask you, of course, our favourite question. It is going to be, what is the highest scoring game of this game week going to be?
I'm going to go for... I'm going to go France-Portugal.
Okay. France-Portugal. Yeah. I can see that. I'm going to go England.
Yeah, I thought I'd leave that one open for you.
Yeah, up the boys. Yeah.
What are you going for? What scoreline?
Oh, it's going to be 6-0 England. This new formation, it's cooking. It's cooking.
Oh, I was just going 2-1 to France. But it's still going to be the most goals.
Right. Yeah, probably I've overshot it a little bit then.
It'll be 1-1 in Spain, Germany, 0-0 England, Switzerland, and 1-0 Holland. Might put that on my Super 6 now.
Out of all of those teams left, lad, who do you think is going to win it?
I think Spain. I think if anyone else is going to win it that's not Spain, I think Germany have to be the ones that beat Spain, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think if Spain win tomorrow, I think they've won it. I think if Germany beat Spain, I think Germany still have some little gaps that could be beaten. I think France could beat Germany. It's weird. I think Germany seems to be the only side that could actually compete with Spain right this second. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to France, but that's just because of the way that they've performed so far. But maybe they'd turn up against Spain. But from what I've seen, I think Germany's seen the best match for Spain, and if they can beat Spain, as we saw against Switzerland, they did still have a few cracks which could be taken advantage of. Which means that should Spain go out tomorrow, it's more anyone's game. But I am struggling to see anyone winning the Euros that isn't in that game tomorrow at 5:00.
Okay. Well,
how about you?
I'm just going to tell you it's coming home. Simple as that. Done.
Yeah. There is that. It's one of those. It's a bit weird because I feel like a lot of people will be a little bit. They'll be buzzing, but at the back of their mind, like, for God's sake, Gareth.
Yeah.
Like, we've been at his throat and stuff, and then all he can do is just smugly grin at us for bringing it home after shithousing it the whole way through.
Just the open top bus tour is just going to have him like this with his ears cupped the whole journey.
Yeah, the Harry Maguire. I hope so, but yeah, I think in all seriousness, I think the two favourites are fighting it out tomorrow tea time, aren't they?
Yeah, probably so. We've got some more questions that have come in. Best midfielder from France?
Kante?
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that one. Ball recoveries, man of the match, fiend.
Man of the matches, yeah. Assist?
Yeah.
Oh no, he didn't get it.
He got ruled out. It got ruled out, yeah.
But he was the assist of the assist, so he's not far off from the attacking.
Yeah, true. Do you like Saka? I don't.
No, not really. And also with this with the current formation, he's been too quiet, considering it's his strongest part of the pitch. Don't get me wrong, that's the whole of England's attack, though, so you can't really use him as a scapegoat. But no, I don't fancy him there. But in this new and improved formation that we might be playing, maybe it will benefit him. But we just have to wait and see. Come back next week, see
True.
if nothing's changed. If we're still in the semis, but we'll see.
Will indeed.
But no, I think Bellingham and Foden are probably better gambles.
Yeah, agreed. Final question of today's stream. Like I said, there will be a deadline stream tomorrow if you do have any more questions. Is it worth going for a -4 exchanging Cucurella for Van Dijk?
I think, don't know if you're of the same advice as you were before, just to have some fun there.
I think so, but at the same time, Cucurella's a bit of a monster for ball recovery, so I think he could very easily make up for like any clean sheet points Van Dijk got. So I don't think it's necessarily worth it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's it. Right, that is going to conclude today's stream, guys. Like I said, there will be a deadline stream on tomorrow at 4, so get yourself along to that one. If you do have any questions as well, please feel free to reach out on Twitter, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. But I will see you tomorrow, and maybe Jake next week for a preview stream.
Yeah, of course, and I'll be there tomorrow. I won't be watching cricket or whatever excuse I gave you last time.
Yeah, you were like, oh, I'm out with my actual friends, not you, you loser, sat in your bedroom. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I'll be there. Don't you worry.
Good stuff. And then
nice bus journey home from work. Actually, watching you do that.
Oh, there we go. And then what actually happens is we'll probably have maybe like 2 or 3 days off. Then FPL will release, so we'll be back talking to each other.
Fantastic, lad, and I'm going to take it serious this year.
Are you? Are you gonna, lad? You're gonna win it all. You're gonna win it all.
Yeah, I'm gonna win it all, lad.
You're gonna win it all, mate. It's coming home. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching today, and like I said, see you tomorrow.